Get ready, Redflex, the company that owned and operated Albuquerque's red light camera system, is making plans to take you to court if you have any outstanding tickets. Nearly a year after the red light cameras went dark, News 13 has learned that Redflex will go after more than 100,000 people who have outstanding citations, all amounting to about $13 million in fines.
They're doing their thing. It's not costing the city any more money. And if they've got a process in place that takes them 8 months, let it so be it.
City Council says that the city could have been potentially sued if they didn't give the company the authority to take ticket holders to court. And not only that, but taxpayers would end up paying those fines. The money collected will be split between the company, the city, and the state. A new APS district policy has some Albuquerque parents worried that the money raised by booster clubs will no longer go where it's intended. The new APS policy requires that money raised by booster clubs for specific sports and other activities must go into one big fund at each school. Now, Eric Ornelas is the outgoing president of the Cibola High School football's booster club, and he's concerned over this new policy.
As a parent, you want to give your kid the best, and we raise funds to do that.
School board member Kathy Court says there is no need for parents to panic just yet. She says each sport or activities fund will stay separate. Security at Socorro High School will soon be beefed up after a threat is made on campus. The school has notified parents about the threat. School officials say someone wrote on a bathroom stall that they were going to blow up the school on 12/12/12, which is actually tomorrow. As a precaution, there will be extra security at the school. Last year, someone sent a letter threatening mass casualties on 11/11/11 at Socorro schools and the police department. Dozens of students stayed home and police presence was beefed up around town, but thankfully nothing happened. A former high school teacher is waiting to hear if he'll be able to keep his teaching license after once being accused of having an inappropriate relationship with a teen student. David Lawrence was actually acquitted of criminal sexual contact with a 17-year-old student at Roswell's Goddard High School about 7 months ago. Now, he was fired over the allegations and now stands to lose his teaching license. Well, yesterday during a hearing with the Public Education Department, he made his case as to why he should be able to continue to teach. However, no decision was made just yet. The state Supreme Court says a man convicted in California of a sex crime that does not legally exist in New Mexico must register as a sex offender here anyway. 65-year-old Bruce Hall of Las Cruces was convicted in 2008 of failing to register as a sex offender, but the state appeals court threw out Hall's conviction because the specific California crime he was convicted of, which is annoying and molesting, is not on the books in New Mexico. However, last week, the state Supreme Court overturned that decision and sent the case back to district court, where Hall will once again face charges for failing to register. New information this morning, a New Mexico man who authorities say traveled to Vermont in a plot to murder 2 people has waived his extradition and will be returned to the state. 41-year-old Mark Stake agreed to face murder conspiracy charges here. Stake and his 23-year-old nephew, Tanner Ruan, were arrested back in November at the U.S.-Canadian border crossing. Now, police say both men agreed to a plot to kill 2 men in Vermont at the request of a prison inmate they met at a New Mexico prison. A New Mexico man has been sentenced to 41 years in prison for charges related to the death of a Wyoming man back in 2009. Federal prosecutors say 22-year-old Carl Ernesto Romero of the Okeowinge Pueblo was sentenced yesterday. Prosecutors say Romero admitted to the killing of a 26-year-old victim during an FBI interview. New this morning, police are continuing the search for the brazen robber who held up a teen at a fast food joint. Police say a man walked into the Sonic off of I-40 in Edgewood and put a gun to the neck of an 18-year-old. Cops say the suspect then threw her to the ground and took off with cash. The victim's mom spoke to us about the terrifying ordeal.
She's just hysterical. She's just beside herself. I mean, I can't imagine what it's like and to have a gun pointed. And she said all she could think about was, "Mom, I'm going to die and I hope this doesn't hurt."
Wow. Well, police aren't sure if the crook seen here is from the area or was just driving through. So far, no arrests have been made. One man is on the road to recovery, and it's all thanks to 2 Taos police officers. The officers found the man outside in the middle of Sunday night's snowstorm. Can you imagine this? Taos police got a call about a man passed out in the weather. Officers found the man in a ditch covered by the snow. The air temperature was in the single digits, and his core body temperature was 85 degrees when he got to the hospital. No word as to why the man was found passed out in the snow.